afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to round 4 of the MaD Dragon Rugby Championship 2025. Australia going back up against Argentina this week. Changes to both sides as Tane Edmed comes in for Australia in the fly half shirt. Tom Liner, unfortunately, having to remove himself from this game. James O'Connor still remaining on the bench, but not starting this week. Argentina, similar changes for them coming in. Guido Petty comes in the number 4 shirt. Oviedo comes in the number 8 shirt, with Pablo Matera moving to the bench this week. They obviously believe the forwards needed to be changed from that game last week. As we take a look at the table, no switching in terms of positions in the table from last week due to a draw last week between these two teams, with Argentina coming back from a 14-point deficit in maybe one of the most unique games we have ever seen on the MaD Dragon channel before. And Australia will know this could be a pivotal point in their rugby championship, bottom of the table. They will need a big result here today, but not if Argentina have anything to say about it. As they get started out then with a great lift on the tight end prop there, as Joe Sclavi has to get thrown into the air by his fellow forwards and managing to reclaim that ball under large pressure there, as Argentina already finding the gap. And Santiago Carreras, how important was he last week? Manages to find a superb kick through the gap, and that is an opening 50-22 to Argentina. That is how they will have wanted to have started out. Get a strong bit of territory early on into this game. Do not want Australia scoring on the board early on. We saw the damage this Argentinian team can do in that second half last week. If they can get on the scoreboard first here today, that will be an enormous bonus for them. As they go left here to Kramer, always a hard man to stop, and poor old Talialatupo, those felt the worse off in that collision, thrown to the floor. Luckily, back up though, no injury sustained, as Argentina just trying to work through the phases of the forwards here. And in comes Lucio Cinti on a great run there, trying to find his gap through the midfield. They'll still look to pressure this left-hand side all this time as Valentini gets shrugged off the tackling. Already some great carries. The coach is asking for physicality this week, and it is absolutely something they are bringing, as Choco Perez gets it out to the captain, Julian Montoya, not able to find his way to the line. And Australia do well, though, at the breakdown, able to get that ball away somehow. Floated on the outside to Tane Edmed, out to Max Jorgensen, and he's got pace, but it's well shut down by Garcia, not to let him get away. And Australia will look to just try and clear their lines. Nick White not finding touch, and it will give Malia the opportunity to try and run this one back up the field. Slow ball for Argentina. Eventually, the Lucio Cinti, man, he's been busy today, just asking questions of this defence, wriggling through the tackles where he can do. As Tom Hooper trying to get back on side here. They try and get around the back. They might have created a bit of a gap there for Malia, but Rob Valentini shuts the door on him, not letting him through. And Argentina try to probe this left-hand side again as Choco Perez gets it out. But it's an interesting choice of kick there coming in by Tom Hooper. Not sure he was quite ready to receive that ball, and just sort of boots it on the volley. And that has given Argentina back the position as Choco Perez moves them back up to the 22. And they switch back on the inside, and they get it out this time to Carreras. And they keep going towards this right-hand side. And it's the opening try going the way of Rodrigo Iskro. Got brought into the game this week with Delgui not in the team. Great vision there. Great work by Garcia to wriggle out of one, play the out-the-back door pass. Not a great tackle by Hunter Paisami in the inside centre. Len Ikitsa, unfortunately, not in this game. And that will not have been the sort of tackling the coaches will be wanting to see by Hunter Paisami, falling off that tackle. But it will be Argentina who get on the board first in this game. And that could be all important. We saw how strong they finished that second half. Being able to get the points in the first half going to be all important, especially when playing away from home. And Santiago Carreras slides that one through, and the winger happy to get across the whitewash on his first start in the tournament for them in the MaD Dragon series. As Tane Edmed once again then to get us restarted up. So that high ball once again going out towards the left-hand side. Oh, knocked back by Rubiolo there, and manages to get into the arms of a man in gold, and that's not what they would want. And suddenly there's an overlap here as Rob Valentini running, got Max Jorgensen on his outside. That's great cover work though, coming in by Juan Martin Gonzalez, not letting him through. And looks like Australia try something different. Oh, a little chip kick over the top there by Tom Hooper, who is trying his footballing skills today. Hasn't worked for them. It's good sweeping cover by Malia, and Fraser McWright will have to charge back to get on the end of that one. Andrew Kellaway not really in great cover position for that ball to get kicked back over the top, but Australia do retain possession for the meantime. Argentina rushing that breakdown. They want to try and win that battle today as it gets out then to Tain Edmed. He's got a bit of an opportunity now on this wing. Oh, and gets on the end of his own grubber kick. And that is what the fly half will have wanted today. Got his shot. James O'Connor looks on from the bench. A couple of people surprised didn't get that starting 10 jersey with Tom Liner back up. That's a great grubber kick around the outside of Malia, not able to dive on the end of that ball. And the fly half brought in for this game, of course, after playing his matches against the Lions during their tour of Australia. And now gets his opportunity in that starting 10 shirt and gets to double down on that opportunity with converting his own try, potentially, as he steps up for the kick. Not a lot of wind down there. And lovely slotted through by Tain as he puts it through for a 7-all at 25 minutes on the board. Still time in this first half for one of these two teams to try and find the breakaway score. Long kick coming in by Santiago Carreras into the arms then of Andrew Kellaway, who gets absolutely hammered by Julian Montoya. What a great shot by the Argentinian captain. And Australia look to try and go back out towards this left-hand side, and the ball managing to get out to Corey Toole. Not seeing a great deal of possession of the ball today as Nick White opts to go for that box kick, being hunted down here by Sua Lee. Malia doing very well to actually take that stationary and still get the handoff on the outside centre, but they have managed to keep a hold of the ball as they'll switch back towards his left-hand side. Oh, huge collision coming in by Gonzalez there on, I think that was James Slipper, unfortunately winning the battle there, not going his way. Oh, it's a great ball out the back, and already now you can see these Argentinian backs looking to light up as outside centre on outside centre chops him down just shy of the 5-metre line, and they'll cut back on the inside. That's good work. Oh, but Taniela Tupo with the soft hands to pluck it out of the air. Great work by the tight head prop, and suddenly Hunter Paisami looking to try and make up for his earlier mistake. Tries to make a break up towards the halfway line. Can't get that kick away though. Who's there for support? Australia look to try and play wide as they get out to Rob Valentini. It's breaking up a bit now. Charges it up beyond the halfway line. Argentina just got to reorganise their defence a little bit now as they go back towards his left-hand side, and Hunter Paisami once again finding the breakthrough. Got that little stab kick through, and Jorgensen, oh sorry, it was Corey Toole hunting that one down on the end of it, and Jeremy Williams, who was brought in for this game, getting over the ball. There is a bit of a tsunami of attack here coming in by Australia. Argentina going to have to answer back with something soon as they'll keep shipping out towards his right-hand side, and Suoli gets it out to Rob Valentini, who's charging in for the corner. And they won't get back for him. The ref wants to check something on the TMO. I'm not sure if this was potentially for a forward pass, or maybe they've seen something in the grounding. The grounding looks perfectly fine to me. Nothing really to dispute there. It was wondering if maybe it was actually the last pass was thrown forwards to him. But I see no issue there, and the ref says nope, nothing wrong, as the try is awarded to Valentini, who's been busy today for this Australian side, and that will put them in the lead just before the halftime whistle, which is just around the corner, as Tain Edmed will step up for a very tricky kick as he's absolutely sliced that one off the outside of his boot. It hasn't gone correctly at all for him. So Australia will remain just 5 points in the lead shortly before half-time. Now, you've got to remember, last week Argentina were able to come down from a 14-point deficit. So 5 points surely not enough to remain comfortable in this game as Santiago Carreras kicks long into the arms there of Harry Wilson. Oh, great shot on Malia. Hopefully he's okay. He's taken a good while to get back to his feet, and Nick White just drops it back for Tain Edmed and just kicks that one out on the full. They're happy to go in at halftime in the lead as they did last week, but of course you never know what's going to come in the way of the MaD Dragon series. Let's see what happens in the second half. We're on to round 4 then of the MaD Dragon Rugby Championship series, a pivotal point in this tournament. This is where it can really begin to slip away from you. Australia knew what was on the cards today, a win absolutely necessary for them, you feel, in order to try and keep in contention for this year's Rugby Championship. But it was Argentina who got off to the better start, being able to put those phases through thanks to a fantastic kick coming in by Santiago Carreras, finding that early 50-22 to give them those easy territory meters up into that Australian 22, building the phases, and eventually Rodrigo Iskro receiving a great out the back door pass, being able to score in the corner, converted by Santiago Carreras to take them out to a 7-0 lead. Territory stats certainly gone the way of Argentina, with 74% of the territory going their way today, but Australia have fought back strong, finding a few gaps in that Argentinian defence, which has looked more broken this week than it did last week, has led to 2 tries the way of Australia. The first one, Tane Edmed being able to get in the corner, getting on the outside, converting his own try. Rob Valentini getting down for the second just before the half-time marker, then scoring in the same corner. Unfortunately, Edmed missing that second kick means there's only 5 points separating these teams. The subs benches for both sides will be looking on rather intently in this game, as there could be potentially just one player to switch up this game for both teams. How will the coaches take this one at halftime? What changes can we be seeing coming in the second half? Will it be as unique as last week? Let's get this one kicked off and underway. The ref's ready to blow the whistle then for this second half, and Santiago Carreras just organising his players. They know what is on the line in this game. Only 5 points separating these two teams as a long kick lands in the arms of Nick White. Australia just got to try and secure this ball as they play left here to Hunter Paisami. Oh, and Corey Toole looking to try and make a breakout. Really hasn't seen a lot of the ball today. Eventually, Australia do manage to support that ruck. Very, very slow by Australia, but Harry Wilson just trying to put them on the front foot once again, as Nick White opting for the box kick, looking to try and get under this one is Corey Toole. A high ball, but well caught by Iskro, under big pressure there by the Australian winger, and Argentina look to try and hit that gap once again. Oh, and Choco Perez, such a powerful ball carrier, managing to slip through the first tackle, and now Argentina have the opportunity to try and put some phases together. That's a great tackle coming in by Max Jorgensen there on Kramer. That is not an easy man to stop at full tilt, and looks like slowly Australia beginning to march Argentina back. Just got to keep an eye on where those players are supporting your breakdown players, because Australia will look to try and get these turnovers if they come their way. That's a wide pass out, but Rob Valentini, the try scorer, reading it very well, and Argentina struggling to find any sort of purchase at the minute. Potentially got to look for a slightly different option. Maybe that 50-22 like we saw in the first half could become very, very important in these tight-knit affairs, just to try and break the deadlock. The midfield seeing a lot of territory at the minute this time, as Julian Montoya runs into a brick wall and driven back, and Argentina looking a bit flat-footed here, but eventually Malia is the one able to just slip through the tackle. This Australian defence looking much better this week, and Taniela Tupou able to get in over the ball. That's great work by the tight head prop, and now they think they've got numbers out towards this left-hand side as Suoli gets it out to Corey Toole. Slow ball though for Australia. Just got to try and reorganise. Oh, a short pass on the inside there to Hunter Paisami, and Taniela Tupou. He's a big man, but he can fly once he's got a bit of room to work with, and they'll ship back towards this right-hand side. A wide ball getting out there to Tane Edmed. Try scorer to try scorer there between the Australian players, but Argentina managed to get on the end of that one, and they have been able to get the turnover. We can see the subs benches beginning to warm up in the background here, looking to try and get onto this field, break this deadlock. Oh, Iskro managing to make a breakaway, not able to get on the end of it, as Tane Edmed goes for that interesting kick. Once again, they've tried a few of those today. Hasn't really paid off for them. And Hunter Paisami just wants to go for a lofty pass. Oh, it's not a great kick, though, as it will go straight out on the full, nearly managing to find grass. And Argentina will have the line out as some of the subs benches begin to get warmed up. Our cameraman's not quite picked them up here, as he's basically got a bit of a back shot there of some of the stands. But we can tell you there's been a change of half-back partnership going on for this Australian side. Argentina coming in with a couple of changes of their own, as Picardo on now in that centre position. You can see out there on the very far left wing, there is room if Argentina can get it out there, but it's good work involved in there. That is one of the new players coming on for Australia. Salakai Lotto able to just wrap his arms around the ball carrier in the maul and just cannot seem to get it away, and that will award the scrum. That is a big let off there for Australia. And now Tate McDermott on for Australia. That halfback combo change with Nick White off, and James O'Connor also on. What will that shift up for this Australia team as we have the first scrum of the game. And Harry Wilson, on the charge. It's a big run by the big man. And Malia got a lot of asking there to try and get back and manages to smash through. Great run by the captain. That is huge territory meters for this Australian side. And Hunter Paisami tries to do the same, but it's certainly not quite as impactful as we got to see from Harry Wilson. And this time Rob Valentini gets it back out. To that man, Harry Wilson once again. He's just slicing through this Argentinian defence, and they're being put on the back foot early here as they get it out here to Daugunu, who's come in on the left-hand wing. Now Corey Toole gone off as well. These subs have made a huge impact for this Australia team. And in comes Rob Valentini on the big crash ball as well. Argentina getting marched back. Got to keep an eye out for this now as Hunter Paisami nearly managing to find his way to the try line, asking all sorts of questions of this Argentinian defence as Suoli asks for the ball close, trying to get on the end of that crash ball, and Rob Valentini charges it up to the new boy, Daugunu, out on this wing, still can't make their way across, and somehow I think Argentina have been able to get over that ball. That is superb defensive work by the men in blue. But in comes Fraser McWright. We see him do that time and time again. When you need him to step up, who else could be there? But Fraser McWright able to turn the ball over just when Argentina just need to regather their thoughts a bit. And now Australia, with the opportunity, knocking on the door. They've got men. If they go right, and they have seen it, and Suoli gets taken down. Mateo Carreras with just an unbelievable tackle had to be made. And Taliela Tupou runs hard at the line, but it is Hunter Paisami who will get over and goes over to celebrate with his captain. And if there's one man that deserves a celebration, Harry Wilson has been very, very busy this second half, and I'm glad to see him be able to get in and join in with the celebrations on that one. And that is going to tick that scoreboard just outside the one-score range for Argentina. And there's only 5 minutes left on the clock. And big, big question marks beginning as to whether they are still in this game, as James O'Connor looks to try and improve the old kicking ratio from Tain Ebed on that last conversion. That one looking much, much stronger. Takes them up to 12 points in the lead at the 76-minute mark. Argentina know a score is going to be ever necessary as soon as possible to remain in this game. Santiago Carreras just taking his time to organise his players as they kick long into the arms there of Suoli. Been quieter this week than we got to see from him last game, of course. As Tate McDermott aims for the high up and under here. Great chase work going in by Max Jorgensen. Got right onto the end of it. Very, very fast wingers in this Australian side. It is Argentina who will have the last say in this game. That's a good break, though, coming in by Argentina. But Australia able to recover the ball, and the clock has just turned red. You can hear the siren in the background, but Australia not done yet, looking to play on as he gets chopped down there. That's a good tackle coming in by Gonzalez. Doesn't look like Australia are going to go anywhere, and James O'Connor just puts that one off the field. And that is a much better game by Australia. Argentina today just couldn't handle the pressure of some of the Australian forwards. That defensive line showing a few more cracks than it did last week, and Australia will get the win at home. That will be ever important for their rugby championship hopes. What do we think of this game then, guys? 19 points to 7-2 Australia. Do you think this is a similar scoreline to something we could be seeing on the weekend, or do you think Argentina will be getting the win away from home? I'll see you all next time, guys. Bye-bye.